Welcome to another edition of the South End, the South edition of Phoenix. We meet every week, and this is May 1st. What an incredible day. I don't know, is it getting warmer? It seems like one day to the next. A couple of days ago, it was almost plus 22, and today it's minus 7. It's quite a up and down thing. Makes it harder for the cottages to get opened and everything else, but here we are. So, welcome to this edition. Those that are on Facebook Live and LinkedIn Live and YouTube, well, welcome. If you have a business, this is the one way that you can really market your product, market your service, is that going one-on-one. Because it's these people that are connected to so many other people. I mean, we may have 9, 10 people here, but each of us know about 500, 600 people. And so it's those kind of people you want to tap into whenever you're doing any network marketing, is that what can you look at in terms of how you can phrase your business so other people get it. They just know, and then that's where they can suggest various things to do in there. So let's get a quick snapshot of how Phoenix is doing. This is our main hub, pbex.ca or phoenixbusinessexchange.com, and we're celebrating our 9th year right now. 2016 we opened, and wow, what a so many evolutions we've gone through, COVID and all the things, and we're still the number one on the networking groups online, because we've worked out all the bugs in that. So we are featuring Steve Brennickmeyer. He's our website coordinator in the After Hours group. So if you want to know more about Steve, there's his video. We all have an e-card that Steve has there, and it has all of our information on there that we need online. So let's just give that a quick click and see how that works. This is what the feature is for that e-card. So whenever you flash a QR code or anything, then this is all he has his website, and everything is listed on here. Every Phoenix member gets one. So one of the great parts is that if somebody is in a supermarket lineup or something, and you need to you find out they're looking for a realtor, you find out they're looking for a mechanic, or we have so many people within our group, in all 3 groups, the Monday, Wednesday, and the Thursday group. And this is where you can share that information with other people. And so you have everyone's business card in the group, and everyone has yours. So we can share that among yourselves, and this is how we get our names out there. We get our focus out there. So a couple of special events. So every Tuesday we have Bernie Fransgrove. He does his East Tradewinds Global Networking, and it starts at 8 o'clock to 9, and it's every Tuesday. So it's a good one to be in. I do my tuning every Friday at 1:30. It's a Tune In with Tony. It's a meditation class, basically just to chill for the week. And Penny Lee has her Dance and Movement is Medicine classes there as well. And Friends Friday, that one's coming up. It's a once-a-month event that Penny Lee holds, and it's all about basically community, just a bunch of people coming together in a casual group. And the last one I was in was last month, and it was like 14 or 15 people there, and ended up getting some contacts from that. I've actually been invited to do a special event in June for that. So it's a great way to network, to get people to see you in person. That's the best. We're going to meet in person actually within the next few weeks. May 29th is, you can mark it in your calendar. We won't be having our Zoom in this group because we'll be at the River Lounge, which Steve Brennickmeyer knows, and all of us know very well, by Marlon O'Neid, and he's an amazing person regarding just to book events, weddings, and all that stuff. So it's a great thing to do. Just a quick review that we are looking for a number of categories, ones that if you're looking for any ideas, anything to do with the home. We would like to more home people. So if you know a locksmith or a home appraiser, a roofer, plumber, masonry company, window cleaner, right now, that's going to be a big one because after the winter and stuff, people are always looking for that. Garage door technician, if your garage door has a problem or if you want to get a new one, we're looking for. About a month ago, somebody had asked if we have somebody like that. So really, anybody that is in the home uh, area, the pool and hot tub, that's going to be a big one for this season. So if you know a landscaper, and all these people are probably already busy, but it's really great to get a reputable company that we can refer to. That way we have no issues that somebody we know that's going to be taken care of. We all have very high standards in taking care of our customers, so we're looking for the same for people that are coming in. All right. We are looking for a financial planner, and the list just keeps going. Okay, so check this list out if you're going to get some ideas. Sometimes when you see a profession, you think of a person, and that'd be a great one to go with. Okay, so let's see if we can get those kinds of people in to visit us and so on. Okay, and when they come in, there's a $25 gift card for the member that brings them in. They don't have to join; they just have to show up. So it's a great little program where you can, by bringing in some visitors, we could. It's good for everybody because by having an extra person, they know people that we would never be able to reach. All right, so let's see if we can do that. So let's go right into our educational moment, and our word of wisdom is from Eric Perro. Go ahead, buddy.
All right, good morning. So this is called the naysayers. So when you're dealing with the naysayers, you're going to hear naysayers that other people are going to say, "Oh my God, that's such a big goal," or "Oh my God, that's such a big thing to do. You'll never be able to do it," or "Oh my God, that'll be so difficult to do." But the naysayers are outside, but they're also on the inside. So are you going to say to yourself, "Oh my God, like that's such a big thing. I could never do that. I'm not good enough for this," or "I'm not good enough for that." So I'm reading the book by Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is great. It's called Think Big. And he's often talking about, okay, well, just think big. Don't worry about the naysayers. Don't worry about you. Just go out and do it and have a plan A and do not have a plan B. Because the moment you start having a plan B, the moment you have something to fall back onto, is the moment that you're not going to be giving your all to the plan A, the moment that you're not going to be doing everything you possibly can to get to the end result, to get to your goal. So, a lot of these things, as an example, is when the 4 minute mile, for example, the 4 minute mile, nobody could break the 4 minutes. It took, forever and ever and ever and ever. Finally, the 4 minute mile got broken. And guess what? Now a whole bunch of other people started breaking it. Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about, Sir Edmund Hillary. No one was able to climb to the top of Everest. From the moment it was discovered to the moment that Hillary climbed it, it was 32 years. And then in the next 32 years, 200 people actually were able to climb it. Everybody thought it was invincible. And so all of that to say is don't worry about the naysayers. Have yourself a goal. What is it that you want to achieve? And when you have that list, make sure that on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, it's in front of you. It sounds corny. Every coach talks about it. Every seminar that I've been to talks about it. And it literally 1,100% is the people that have that list and see it on a daily basis are the people that will at least get 80% close to that, to that. And what does that mean? If you're 80% close to it, guess what? Most people are only going to be 5% close to it. So make sure no matter what, don't worry about the naysayers. Put the little stick-it note on your mirror. This is what I want to achieve. My achievement, as I'll share with you guys, for example, is a minimum of 20 open houses this year. We have 52 weeks in the year. That's almost half a year of doing open houses. Every single Sunday, I'm committed to doing them. When I do them, I connect with people, but that's when the work starts. So everybody thinks, oh my God, open house, fantastic, fantastic. No, that's the tip of the iceberg. hosting an open house is 5% of me meeting people and being able to serve them in the capacity of a realtor. So, but I'm not worried about that. I'm not deterred because that's that first step. And once that first step happens, the next steps are pretty much automatic. It's an email here, it's a text there, it's a conversation here, it's a, hey, did you like this house? Did you? And then what does that do? That triggers me off onto, hey, can I bring Norm and Rick in to do some housework for a listing that needs to be done before they do it? Or, hey, maybe they have retired parents and older parents. And then I bring Terry in and say, okay, great. And then Jacqueline is like, okay, well, maybe there's a mortgage that we can start talking about. So it's literally just the tip of the iceberg. But a lot of people would say, oh my God, you got to do an open house on a Sunday. You got to spend your Sunday afternoon. You got to put your signs out in the morning. Oh, it's so much work. Well, to those naysayers, I say, forget it. This is my job. This is my future, and I'm going to take action for myself. So just take action for yourself and do not listen to the naysayers.
Thank you very much, Rick or Eric. That's great. It's a great reminder of what to do with one name and how to just branch it off and then network it like that. There are so many people hooked on get new people all the time, and the people that you already know, you already have, just connect to them, and it's amazing what can come from that. So, thank you very much, Eric, for that reminder. And it's so true that if everyone finds a lot of ways of how something won't work, but they won't want to try to do it. So, I think we've all experienced that to some degree. So that's great. So why don't we get right into our introductions and find out the Terry had did a presentation on how to do an infomercial and stuff. So if you can give us a really good synopsis of not only what you do, but what people get out of it. How does it change people's lives by you being involved? All right, so let's work it that way. Let's work it backwards. In other words, for the customer, what do they get out of it by having you involved in something? It was a good one, that one suggestion. So Terry, take it away. Let's start with you.
Geez, Tony, I had my thing already here, but
That's
not
okay.
not what you're asking.
That's okay. It's all right.
But I'm gonna go ahead. Okay, so I'm Terry Black, and I educate and teach people how to plan the celebration of their lifetime. I'm a pre-planning advisor with Dignity Memorial, and people can meet with me and learn all about what it entails to have to pre-plan your funeral in a one-on-one basis or a group setting. And it really is an opportunity to ask all the questions that you have and to really make an informed decision. So I'm Terry Black with Dignity Memorial, where every detail is remembered. Thanks.
Terry, that was wonderful. That's exactly what I wanted. That's good. Thank you, Terry. Over to Eric. Over to you, bud.
All right. So if you don't mind, rephrase that question. I just got a text in from a client. To be honest, might as well be
Okay.
honest about it.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Just basically, how do people's lives change when you're involved in making it? Because
Oh my
people
God.
usually
Can
want
I
our
just,
service
yeah,
because they have a problem or they're looking for something. And
I'll
how do
tell
you?
you 100% on that one. I just finished a transaction yesterday. They were clients, Canadian residents abroad, dealing with a lot of financial transfers. They didn't understand what was going on. We needed a ton load of work in the background to make sure that different people were connected with other people who could give us the proper answers, who could then follow through. And we needed to do all this within about a month and a half. So how do people's lives changed? I got a massive thank you yesterday. They said, we've done many transactions in the past in property, but you were able to guide us through. You were able to introduce us to the right people, and we were able to get everything done and close on our property. So that's how we do it, by networking and being really gung ho about helping our clients.
Awesome, awesome, great. Yeah, any BAMs or referrals?
I'm trying to think. I'm always talking with one of you guys, but I don't think this week.
Terry, by the way, was there any BAMs on your end?
No BAMs, but I did want to mention that this month at my grief workshop at McAvoy Shields, we're having somebody come in and talk about, speak to children about death, dying, and grief. And that's on Tuesday, May 20th at 6 p.m. So that's, if you know of anybody, that's a really good topic. And, we all have to deal with children's and how to speak to them when we lose somebody. So it's a good seminar.
Okay. Thank you, Terry.
Yeah.
Okay, and over to Q.
Thank you, Tony. Hello, everyone. My name is Q. I'm your go-to intern lady of the group. And do you know that you can still get life or critical illness intern even if you have health challenges or had one decline to be insured. And just because you have some challenges doesn't mean you have to give up protecting your family financially. And I'm here to make sure you have financial peace of mind when you need it most. Q from World Financial Group. And contact me if you have any questions about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Q. And any BAMs?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay, thank you. And over to Mr. Handyman Rick.
Oh, geez, some of the stuff I could say. So one, I know that we did that we were in there fixing a window from the cranks were damaged from they had the window open during the storm. It ripped the crank apart, and we got talking to them, and they said, "Well, we have a room downstairs, a really musty smell. We had a guy take a look at it. Can you give us a second opinion?" So I went and I took a look, and then found out they had a crawl space. So I went down the crawl space and took a look, and all it was is the duct had come undone. So when the heat register turned, or when the heat turned on, it was sucking air from the musty crawl space and right into that room. It was 2 screws, fixed it with 2 screws, went back to fixing the window, and they're like, "Well, what do you owe you for that?" I said, "I'm just in there for 5 minutes. I was already here. Don't worry about it." Right. And they're like, "The other guy wanted $20,000 to fix that." Right. And I'm like, "Well, just refer me. We'll get the job done right." So that's kind of the stuff we do.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Rick. Do you know if you or your dad did any BAMs with anybody? Or?
I think he went and got his oil changed or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I think you did. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Rick. And over to Jacqueline. Is Jacqueline in the house?
Good morning, everyone. May I ask, did you take a long, deep breath? Did you lift your shoulders? Did you take them back? Did you release them down and decide, I know exactly what I'm going to accomplish today? Anytime I'm teaching my yoga students, I will always ask, what are your 5 successes of the day? Have you already had them? Are they coming? Because when you decide that to happen, it will. And that's how I get to have a conversation with all of my mortgage clients, because they're not mortgage clients first. They are people who have questions about the unknown, their unknowns. Perhaps it's not just them, perhaps it's their mom, dad, maybe it's son and daughter who are looking for answers for things they don't know about. And here's all of us answering questions for people who don't know things and have decided to be courageous enough to ask the questions. And so that's how my clients, my family, my friends, because I work with Indigenous peoples, that's how my relations work with me. When you're looking for strategies for your mortgage money, you always want to contact your mortgage honey.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Very great.
And with regard to BAMs, thank you. I am working for next week. I want to be incredibly busy with BAMs next week.
Okay. Perfect. Oh, just for to respect for our visitor Alvin, what a BAM is a business activity meeting. It's when 2 members get together and chat for about an hour just to get together and know each other a little bit better. We sometimes talk about the kids, about the business, about other things, but it's mostly that if something comes to mind, they're more of a friend than they are somebody that we just know that has a business, because we always can refer a friend better than we can just a person that has a business. So that's what BAMs are, okay? Just so you know. The more of those we do, the more referrals that is generated, and the numbers don't lie there. And just in that, we were looking at about 174 referrals and about 200 BAMs so far. So they almost are are in line there. All right. See, okay, over to Mr. Bernie Fransgrote. Go ahead, my friend.
Mr. Tony, thank you. So, Bernie Fransgrote, Creative Insight. I connect businesses. I have chats with people, find out what's working in their life. In fact, I have a lot of chats. Excuse me. I have a podcast called Knack for Business, and that's about, we got 300 of them in the box, and about another 100 lined up and rolling. So it's the sharing of information. So what's that all mean? Like, how does that relate to Phoenix? How does that relate to anything else? Well, it's a matter of resources. We know we're resources here. All right, but there's a wider community outside the universe. East Trade Winds, etc. I just posted something about at Bistro or the at Hive location that's here in Ottawa. It's a place to meet people. So just to give you a kind of a heads up, I had someone for a podcast booking for 11 o'clock tomorrow, not responsive, nothing coming back. Okay, I'm going to assume it's collapsed. Met someone there, and he's got content that's Ottawa based, a Canadian product, Storm Internet, and we're gonna have a chat. I hot swapped him in, and I just happened to be there for another meeting. And we said, "Hey, what's going on?" And so it's that interaction, right? And then eventually, the goal will be to have him come have and maybe have a chat inside the Phoenix space, right? And so there might be utility in that, and you never know behind door number one, number two. And it's not so much I'm talking to these people going, "Hey, listen, what do you got for me?" It's more like, "Hey, what's going on, and what do you got, and what do you do? What do you need?" Right? And you never know. They might need an Eric Perron. They might need a Rick Boyer. They might need Q because she's good, right? Or better yet, Jacqueline. Everybody needs the mortgage honey, and that is important, right? But it's understanding how these things interplay. And Alvin, that's the purpose of the BAMs too. It's just like you're chatting someone up, and they'll say something like, "Hey, I know someone that needs that." It doesn't necessarily mean you. It doesn't necessarily mean me, right? But it can be a service to someone else. I can keep going, and I don't want to do that because I'm not presenting. Tony, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Bernie. Okay, great. And Alvin, yeah, go ahead, sir. Tell us a little bit about what you do and how you change lives.
Hey, my name is Alvan. I'm a photographer. So what I mainly do is help people tell their stories through images, whether you're a business or you're looking to capture an event or update your headshots. That's what I specialize in. And I'm new here. It's my first day attending any of the meetings, and I'm honestly like very impressed by how you guys have everything organized and telling everyone what you do. It seems like a really, really good opportunity to meet a lot of people and join a community is working.
What kind of shots do you do? Is it mostly family portraits? Do you do weddings? Like what?
So
What's your extent?
yeah, so I mainly do portraits and events. Yeah, those are my main two. So any events, weddings, I've done birthdays. Those are one that happen like all year round. People have birthdays. The wedding season is about to start, so this time period gets pretty busy for me for like weddings because that's when people get. But then for portraits, that's also year round. So people want to update their headshots. That's what I do.
Okay, good stuff. If you have a chance to put your contact information in the chat, phone number, email, whatever it is that you can extend yourself, that'll be great. At least then we would have that. And you can still come a couple of more times just to sort of check us out, just to sort of kick the tires, so to speak, and see if this is a marketing solution that will fit in your program. Okay.
All right.
So we're good. All right.
Thank you.
And okay, I will, just before we get to our presenter, I'm just looking, oh, there we go. So my name is Tony Jennis. I'm with Higher Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group. I'm a medium and clairvoyant. I give readings and give an idea of all the things that could happen in your life that will change it in so many ways. In one of the potlucks that I went to with Penny Lee, there was a lady there, and she was so nervous, so nervous. And I says, "What? You look so uptight." He says, "Yeah, I'm going to a job interview tomorrow, and I think I'm way out of my league." And I says, "No, no, no, you're gonna get the job." And she didn't know quite what I did at the time, and she just thought I was just mentioning it. And Penny Lee says, "No, no, when he says usually he's right, or most times he's right." And so we were conversing back and forth over the last week, and I just got a note last night that she got the job with flying colors, and she says, "How did you know?" I says, "I didn't. I'm connected to the energies that do know." And that's the idea. We all have that capability. You got to work on yourself so much to be able to be open, to be able to get that sensitivity. And that's why this Sunday I'm teaching another class. It's called Angel Reading. And we're going to be talking about the different energies that are around us and how we could read them. But not only is it that you could read other people and give readings in that way for others, but you can also read yourself. You can say, okay, where do I need to be? What kind of project should I get into? And it just guides you. And then you can do a self-reading that way. So a lot of times when we're doing business transactions, and I use it all the time for business. Should I get involved in this, or is it just a waste of time? No, not a waste of time, just not right now, you know. And those readings will tell you. We use different kinds of oracle cards, angel cards, whatever that they are. But I use it for business, for myself, a lot. And so this is what we're teaching this Sunday. It's $44, and it's an online course, and I have people from different parts of the globe that are coming in. If you want to get more information, let me know. Okay. The other things that we're doing is that I also work with sound. I'm a tuning fork practitioner and master teacher. I teach other practitioners how to do this stuff, and I'm the only one in Canada at the moment that is at this level. And the whole idea here is I want people to raise their spirits. The moment their vibration goes up, they become happier, and they just start feeling things that are going to happen. They just start feeling things that there's something here, but I have no evidence whatsoever to prove it, but you feel it. And that's what success feels like. It's just before something comes in, you feel it. It's just like a train coming. You hear it, you feel the rumbling on the tracks, hey, Bernie? And then next thing you know, it's there. So should not be a surprise. But most people, it is a surprise because all those senses aren't really developed and honed, and we can help you get that. Tony Jennis from Higher Self, and we are here to raise your spirits. I had a BAM with Patricia and did some business with her. Eric Senego, ongoing business there. He's our accountant. I've got 2 companies that he does taxes for, and Dwight is our Bell's Corners caterer, and I'm ordering some stuff from him. And I gave Susan McGarry, she's our East End person with Pure Trim, and got some referrals going there. Also, also we donated some stuff for Brenda Lee a number of weeks ago, so I'm not sure if I mentioned it here. But so we have those happening too. Okay, so I think that is everybody. I think we got everybody. Okay, wonderful. All right, every week we give one of our members more of an opportunity to talk about their business or their industry than in just a minute or so. And so this week we are featuring Sam Sturris. So he's going to give us a little headshot about what it's like to be in his industry and the kind of things that he goes through. So Sam, take it away.
Thank you, Tony. Good morning, everyone. Sam Sturris, connectedcars.ca. There's my contact information in the chat. First of all, I want to welcome Alvin to the meeting. And I also want to mention, well, Rick said that I think my dad got his oil changed. Well, actually, he did. He came to me and got his van oil changed, and someone told him he needed brakes. And lo and behold, he came here and he didn't need brakes. So I said, well, I'll do them if you want, but I can save you a couple $100 if I don't. So he took the route of not having the brakes done. So today I'm actually going to talk about brakes, and I asked a couple questions to start off, and maybe you can help me answer them. What are the two types of brake systems found on cars these days?
Working and non-working?
Close, but no.
Well, there are disc brakes and there's
And drum brakes.
what else is?
Correct. Disc and drum brakes. That's correct. Which are the most popular? What do you find on most of the vehicles these days?
Disc.
Disc brakes. That is correct. I'm going to talk about today is why disc brakes on the rear of a car can actually costing you more money, or someone you know more money in repairs. So you might want to pay attention, because this is money talking here, and you could actually save yourself or someone else, fair hundreds of dollars in repairs. So Tony, can you play that video that I sent you?
Shazam!
Rev up your engines! Today I'm going to talk about drum brakes on your car versus disc brakes on your car. Now the back brakes on this car are drum brakes, but the front brakes, they're disc brakes. Hey, why is it that way? How did that come to be? Well, drum brakes have been around for a long time. Hey, wagons, some of them have drum type brakes on them. They work quite well, and they've been around for a really long time. Drum brakes are exactly what they say. There's a drum, and inside are brake shoes that when you step on the brakes, the cylinder pushes out and pushes the brake shoes that are curved against the inside. And for a long time, this was the best system out there. It's relatively sealed from the elements since the shoes are inside and this covers them. But they have one major drawback. They tend to fade after quick repetitive usage of the brakes, as in racing, where you stop and then you speed up and stop and speed up and corner and brake and then speed up. They'll fade. So for racing and really heavy loads, they came up with these disc brakes that don't fade that much. And they also work better in water situations because it can squeeze the water right out as it squeezes in, where if water gets inside the drums, then they really slip and slide as they dry out. When I was young, I had a 1970 Ford Maverick, and it had four-wheel drum brakes. And believe me, especially in colder weather, if you had drum brakes and you went through some deep water, then you hit the brakes, they would just slide because the water got inside, and it would just slide like mad, where the discs, those pads, they can squeeze it out, and since they're open air, the water comes off a lot easier. Now, the first real use in mass production of disc brakes was in the 1940s for airplanes and for tanks, for two kind of different reasons, but here's what they are. The disc brake systems tend to weigh less, take up less space. So in an airplane, that's a big deal. Fighter jets, they want to make them as fast as possible, and a big B-17 bomber, hey, that's a lot of weight. So the disc brakes can take that heat when you step on the brakes, and all that weight condenses and dissipate it better than the drum brakes could. And in the tanks, there was a limited amount of space with the treads going around. So they found that the disc brakes would fit in that smaller space better. Plus, hey, tanks went everywhere. They want water, mud, and you're better off with disc brakes in a bad environment than you are with drum brakes. Now, as for cars, the first real disc brake use was in 1951 in the British Racing Motor Company. They had a Formula One car that had front disc brake. Now, disc brakes had such an advantage in racing that all the racing cars quickly went over to disc brakes because they slam on the brakes before they hit a corner, then they step on the gas, and then they hit the brakes. They don't want any fading, and they want them to work as well as possible. And of course, in a race car, weight is everything. You want to make it as light as possible, so they all went to disc. Now, the first American car that was mass produced that had four-wheel disc brakes, that was a 65 Chevy Corvette. Only makes sense, a sports car. They wanted to make the Corvette as race capable as possible, guys were racing them, and to have the absolute best performance. So it was the first American car that came with all four-wheel disc brakes. So you might well ask, why does this Toyota Celica that it was made 30 years after the Corvette have discs in the front, way up here in the front, but drum brakes in the back. Well, of course, part of it has to do with cost. This is based on the Toyota Corolla. It always had drum brakes in the back, so much cheaper to make, and it's a really low-end sports car. A lot of people wouldn't even call it a sports car. So it's got discs in the front and drums in the back. But in terms of normal driving, it really doesn't affect it much at all. Because the front brakes, especially when disc, they do over 90% of the braking of your vehicle anyway. Normal driving, the main thing that the rear brakes do is keep the vehicle from swaying from side to side like a wild wagon when you're braking. And I'm forever getting people asking me on my car talk or emailing me questions, "Oh, Scotty, I got discs in the front of my car and drums in the rear. Should I buy a disc conversion kit for the back brakes to make them work better?" And my response is always, hey, unless you're racing the thing, don't waste your money. It doesn't affect them all that much. There's still a lot of motorcycles out there that have discs in the front and drums on the back, because if you know anything about driving motorcycles, you use your front brake all the time. Some of the guys never even use their rear brake. Now the racers do, because they're doing completely different kinds of dynamics than normal driving on the street. A normal motorcycle driver, you use your front brake all the time. That's how you slow down, and that's how you control the vehicle. And other guys will ask me, hey, I've got regular disc brakes on my car, but should I put drilled or slotted rotors on them? Well, again, only if you're racing the vehicle. That allows the heat to be dissipated a little bit faster because of all the holes that the air can go through. So in a race where you're stopping and going, they won't fade. But really, for normal driving, non-slotted discs actually will stop your car faster for one time because there's more surface area, so the pads are squeezing more surface area and the heat can be taken away faster and stop your car quicker. Plus, there's a big downside to drilled and slotted discs. One, they have a tendency of making noise because you got either the slots or the holes drilled, and a lot of times you can hear and feel it as you stop. And guess what? They wear out a lot quicker. Serious race guys, hey, they change the rotors and discs after every single race. You're not going to be doing that driving your everyday driver. So in any modern car, the system that it comes with for everyday driving, it's pretty good the way that it was designed. But let's say you were building up an old 1970 Maverick like I used to drive that had four-wheel drum brakes. In that case, it would definitely be worth your while to remove just the front drum brakes and replace them with disc brake systems. That would stop a whole bunch better. So now you know the truth about drum versus disc brakes. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.
Thank you, Tony. Well, one thing Scotty left out of his video there, and I mean, I'm not going to disagree with anything he says, but what he doesn't talk about is the problems that disc brakes cause for some people because of their driving habits on the back of their vehicle. I have two customers that have serious problems with the back of the brakes, and that's because they don't drive on the highways much. They get in their cars, they go to church, they go to the grocery store, and they come home and park their cars. And what that causes, especially with our winters and the salt, is those back brakes never get used. And what happens is they seize up after a while, and sure enough, they need to have a brake job done. I've got a couple of pictures here. Tony, can you show the one picture of disc brake? This is actually from my neighbor's car.
I'm just looking at, I'm not sure if you sent me any pictures. Let me just check. Oh, actually, I did get a couple of pictures. Just a sec.
Okay.
It's not clickable, though. I have the MP3, but it's not clickable.
Okay, fair enough. I'll just talk about it.
Yeah, it's there, but it's not clickable. Yeah.
That's fine. No problem. The picture that I'm showing, or was going to show, there's two of them. The one side is the disc brake looks okay, you know, it looks like it's being used, and that's only because I took her car out for a ride, and I pushed the car pretty hard in the corners on the highway, coming off the highway. So I got it started working. But on the other side, it's a mess. The disc is rotor is all corroded up. It's a big mess. So lo and behold, and I just did those brakes maybe I think about 2 years ago. And again, going back to it, the problem is that she just doesn't drive the car on the highways. So the back brakes never get used. She doesn't push the car hard. So if you drive like this, or you know someone that does, they're going to have problems. And it's not your mechanic's fault. It's because you're just not using those back brakes. As Scotty mentioned there, 90% of your braking is done by the front brakes. So if you're never on the highway and you're not going to come off the highway at, maybe 100 kilometers an hour and put those brakes on harder, you're never going to use those back brakes, and they're going to corrode away just like my neighbors are. And in fact, I have another neighbor who came over to me and said that she was recommended to get a brake job done. And I said, what are your driving habits like? She said, well, I don't like going on the highway, but I visit my neighbors or my friends as much as I can. I said, well, where do you drive when you go? She said, well, I just stay on the city streets. So same problem. I looked at her car, and yeah, the back rotors are starting to rust away. She got lots of pad, no problem there. I said, well, I'm not getting into the final parts of that. I got some solutions for you, and Tony. Scotty mentioned one of them, and that is converting your rear brakes from disc to drum. That's one thing you can do. It's not cheap, but you can do that. The easiest way, of course, is to take your car on the highway and drive it a couple times every month. Get on the highway, drive where you have to get off the highway at a higher speed, and you'll start to use those rear disc brakes. Pulling your parking brake doesn't count, by the way.
No.
If that is no good, and I mentioned this to both my neighbors, is get someone to drive your car. Like ask a neighbor's friend or somebody to take your car up on the highway a couple times a month for half an hour, and that should solve the problem. And lastly, if you have these problems and it's costing you money, when you buy a new vehicle, or if you want to trade it in, get a vehicle with front disc brakes and drum rear brakes. Believe me, they're very good. Scotty mentioned there, they do the job that they need to be done, especially for somebody who doesn't drive very much. Those drum brakes will work perfectly well, and they don't corrode. Because they have the drum on the outside, it's protected. Unless you're going into waist-high water, you're never going to have any issues with them, and they're perfectly fine. And that's the basic solution that I recommend when you replace your car. Get those drum brakes on the back. So, anybody have any questions? I'd gladly try and answer.
Sam, how many manufacturers actually don't put disc brakes all the way around? Do all of them, or is it like if you say you're looking at Toyota, Hondas, which tend to be the more reliable, or Subarus, tend to be the more reliable vehicles that we know of right now. And of course, electric cars won't matter because they'll use the motor. So that's perhaps they should all be drums around the electric car. But do the manufacturers have cars that are out there that have disc front and drum back?
The answer to that is yes. I have a customer who is a 2024 Corolla, and they have disc on the front and drum on the back. You can get Civics with the same arrangement. In fact, my daughter's Civic has that arrangement on her car. So the answer is yes. Fewer and fewer, I'm going to admit that fewer and fewer have drum on the back. But for someone who doesn't drive very much, that's the solution to constant rear brake problems and costly repairs.
Yeah. Quick question, Sam. The newer cars, there is no emergency brake. Like I've got a Toyota RAV4. There is no lever. In my other car, I had a lever that would be the emergency brake, which activated the back brakes. But there isn't one in this one, so it's all automatic. when we didn't use the emergency brake before, a lot of times the cable would break or it would rust because it's not being used or it was just ineffective. Does that mean that every time you stop the car and park it, those brakes go on?
Okay, I'll answer that question. For many vehicles, you can either have it come on or not. Most of the time, the manufacturer will manufacture it with the electric parking brake come on automatically when you put the car into park. That's very common for my customers, but I do know of some manufacturers that have the ability to shut that off, and you have to do it manually. You have to push the button or lift the button to get the electric parking brakes to come on. As I say this, that won't solve the problem that my neighbors are having. Having that parking brake on and off are not going to solve the problem with the rotors corroding up if you don't drive it. So, I mean, one thing you can do, and I'm not going to suggest it for those who don't know about cars, is to run the car and pull it on the parking brake to wear down those discs. But something I don't recommend you or someone else do. Maybe your mechanic could do that for you. And certainly don't do it with electric parking brake when you're driving. But there's a way to get those rotors deactivated with the manual parking brake. But the solution really is and the easy way is get somebody to drive the car for these people or yourself, to a person who doesn't want to get on the highway or don't drive very much. Get someone, a friend, to drive it a couple times a month for half an hour, and you'll solve that issue. And like I say, a rear brake job these days, dealerships are charging anywhere between $800 and $1,000 for brake jobs. So, you have to go through that every couple of years for somebody who drives like that or doesn't drive very much. It adds a lot of money to the cost of owning a car.
Right on. Thank you, Sam. That's awesome. That's great. Any
You're
other
welcome.
questions? So if anybody has a neighbor that has their car in the driveway, you can just now simply take the car and take it for a little drive because you want to get the brakes going, You don't have to ask permission.
Yeah, ask him first.
That's the key. That's right. So yeah, everything has to be moving. It's by parking a car and not moving it for a month, you think you're saving, and it's actually costing more. Because it's just sitting and it's eroding a lot faster. It's just like our bodies. If we don't move, we deteriorate very quickly. So we have to go play squash or do something to keep moving.
Yeah, I agree with that, body wise too. And as I mentioned there, the worst and I agree with you, Tony. Taking this car, especially in our winters, you get salt all over the car. You go into the grocery store and maybe in a friend's house, and then bringing the car back home and parking it in the garage. That salt just does numbers to the frame of the car, the brakes, everything. It's just recipe for disaster.
Yeah, right on.
Sam, one other quick question. It's car related. The brakes, and I've heard advice from my brother who used to be a apprentice mechanic. He said every once in a while you got to run the car, run it, go for a drive, like a long drive, going up maybe to the cottage, right? You run the car hot, and if you're running a turbo, then also give it a time to cool down. But right? So those like, don't hop in your car. It's been sitting for like 2-3 weeks and it's cold outside, and you just hammer it, and try to bring up to 120 kilometers an hour on the Queensway, warming it up too rapidly, right? So treat it gently, like you would treat yourself. Would that be fair advice?
Yeah, I agree with that. In fact, Bernie, you led me to my next presentation. I'm going to talk about people that have cars with turbocharged engines. Salesmen don't tell you how to take care of them. I have a couple of customers with issues with their vehicles because they don't know how to take care of a turbocharged engine. You cannot treat them like you do the average, the engines without turbochargers. It's not the same. And if you buy one and the salesperson, because they just want to sell a vehicle, don't advise you what to do, give me a call. I can pass along the information on how to treat a turbocharged engine, and they are different. Believe me, they are different.
But they give you a great boost though when you want to go passing. Need to punch around a car.
All right. Thanks a lot, Sam. That's great. So if anybody wants to set up a BAM with Sam, that'll be great. You do a Sam BAM, that'll be awesome. And then there's more to it. But yeah, it's amazing what you do in your garage there, buddy. Good for you. It's you really found your calling there. So
and he does save money too, because I got quoted. I got an $800 quote for the Sorrento, the Kia Sorrento, and $550 later, Sam took care of it and also gave sound advice, going, "Oh, by the way, Bernie, you should start doing this and you should start doing that," and all doable stuff. Not doing push-ups, but like spraying oil here and there, undercoating.
Okay.
That's what happens when your dad owned a garage when you were a kid and a teenager, and you never went away with. You enjoyed working on vehicles for the rest of your life. So I'm still doing it.
Okay, awesome. Okay, yeah, Bernie, do you got a quote for us for the end of the day?
Well, every day for $9.95. No. Quote today: "Success is not what you have, but who you are." Bo Bennett.
That's right. Okay. And to those that are watching on Facebook Live, you're still with us. Thank you very much for being with us. And again, if you have a business, somebody that needs help, have them come in. Our energy in the group will really make it for you. So until next time, we'll see you next week, and have yourself a great weekend.